Welcome to the Travsessed podcast. We're your hosts, Kim and Aaron, and this is the Healthcare Traveler Quick Fire Tip of the Week.
Flight crew, please prepare for departure.
So this is something fun that we want to try on, and we thought, because we do a weekly podcast and we're mostly sharing more about like our lifestyle and different things as like our healthcare traveling lifestyle and all the different things, but it's more like personal, right? It's more like our life. So what we wanted to do is add an additional podcast. So there will be 2 a week, and every Tuesday we wanted to take your questions that you have about healthcare traveling. And so we're pulling these questions from our Facebook group, Travsessed Healthcare Traveler
group for healthcare travelers.
We're like, wait, what's the name of our group? We have no idea. The group has gotten so big. Mm-hmm. It's almost 9,000 people, which is crazy because it started with just like you and I in there on our own, like doing live trainings.
Like 30 people.
Yeah. And so now that's like this big group, and we just can't keep up with everything. All the questions and all the chats and all the things that are going on. So we thought we'll pull questions that we see that are being asked in the group, and this is where we will answer them in 15 minutes. So it's super quick, to the point. We'll answer your question, and it's a place that you can get correct information. Because one thing that we see is a lot of people respond to questions and it's not even like actual real correct information.
And I've actually realized that healthcare traveling has become like the topics like religion, politics, and healthcare traveling. That's like the 2 things. There are 3 things now, because it's like everybody has an opinion, and it's based off of like their opinion is life or death. Like it is like, this is it. This is how it is. Everybody else is wrong. I am right. And it's kind of been interesting to like test and see that like through the group of just like, wow, like, and the nastiness that comes out throughout the group and things like that. And so we really wanted to find a way that we could, get the information out there, something enjoyable, something fun that you could listen to while you're cleaning the house, on your ride to work, or whatever it is, and really give back to that healthcare traveler community.
Yeah. Quick tips. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, let's get into it.
All right.
So this
week 1.
This week's question is, as a traveler, does having more experience equal making more money? And I thought this was a great question because I think a lot of new people wanting to learn about traveling and coming into the community, that's a really valid question, because you kind of just assume that because in full-time, when you're a full-time worker, the more experience you have, the more money you make,
You're
right?
in a different tier, yeah.
It equates. And so with traveling, that is just not the case.
No.
So your experience does not matter, right? It's not about how many years you've worked. That is not going to set the tone for how much money you're going to make, because the way that we make money as travelers is through what we call the bill rate. And we won't get into all of that on this quick fire, but the bill rate sets the tone, and that is what the hospital says. This is how much we will pay per hour for a traveler to come in and work for us. And so that bill rate creates your pay package, and that's going to be the same rate for someone that has 2 years of experience or 20.
Yep. And I think the only gray area that I will add to that is there could be a difference in the pay package based off of your recruiter and based off of the relationship that you have with them. If you are a brand new traveler who has never taken a contract and you don't really understand the healthcare travel world and how these bill rates work, then your recruiter could be withholding some money, putting more into the company, putting more into their pocket, because you are an untrusted source for them until you build that relationship. So I could see the argument on both sides saying that that if you've had multiple travel experiences, then you'll be getting the highest rate as long as you understand how this industry works, what to ask for, how to build that relationship with your recruiter, and knowing the questions to ask to your recruiter. But when it comes down to hospitals paying and the bill rates paying, then those are across the board, whether you're experienced 20 years or 3 years.
Which is something so important in what's, for our community, why we do these trainings, why we have a course, why we do this podcast and live trainings and things, is because we want you to be empowered and to know the right questions to ask and be able to understand how pay works and bill rates work, and creating your pay package and making more for OT and on call and all of that, so that you're going in as a new traveler with the tools and the skills, the 10 years experience that it took us to figure all this out, so that you don't have to be the traveler who is making less on your first contract because your recruiter is quote unquote taking advantage of you because they know that you don't understand the industry, so that they can pay you less. So that is why we teach all the things that we teach, so that you're equipped with the right things to ask, so that you can get your foot in the door and start earning as much money as possible from your very first contract. So through these trainings, we have a course, Traveler School. You can check that out over on our website at Travsessed.com. The course is a fully comprehensive course. It walks you through everything you need to know step by step. We are going to be adding some really cool value-packed things. This whole course is going to become more of a experience, a mentorship, a community. So stay tuned for that. But you can go check that out in the meantime if you want. And my mic. The other thing I was going to say too, what's more important than experience. So when I say experience, I mean years. What's more important than years of experience is your skill set.
Yep.
So what I mean is, like, as a stenographer, I'm a stenographer. Okay, my skills are, can you do breast? Can you do OB? Can you do vascular? Can you do general? Like, can you do peds? So the more skills you have, the more options you're going to get, the more valuable, the more of an asset you are as a traveler. So you're going to have opportunities for higher paying jobs and just more jobs in general based off the skills, because that is how you're hired as a traveler. They're not like, how many years have you been doing this? They're like, can you scan this? Do you know how to do this? If yes, awesome, we need you, right?
Well, and I wanted to paint the picture too of like people that don't even understand it. Like, if you see, let's just say you saw a bill rate on a job board and it was like $2,100 gross per week, and you call your recruiter and you're like starting to travel and you're like, you got 2 years experience in ultrasound, they're not going to see your resume and then be like, oh, that bill rate was $2,100 a week because you're only 2 weeks, it's now $1,600. Like, it doesn't work that way. That is what the bill rate for that job is, and if they don't think that you're a proper fit based off your experience, you just don't get that job. So it's not like, oh, you can have the job, but you're going to get paid way less. So just so it's clear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, meaning the more skills you have, the more jobs are going to be available to you. So
totally, but I was just
if there's a job
original.
that's like, I'm, a stenographer, that there's a job that's like $3,500 a week for a breast stenographer, I don't do breasts, therefore that job is not going to be for me. But another stenographer that knows how to do breasts, girl, you just got this great job because of your skill set.
Well, right, and what I was saying was like, it didn't matter if she's been doing breasts for 10 years or 3 years. Like, it's not going to change the bill rate.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, the recruiter's not going to do that.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh.
Just to paint it in like a real picture of like if they saw it, right? Like, I just wanted to make sure, because we're saying all these things, and if people don't even understand like how it even works.
If you don't understand how any of this works, go check out Traveler School.
Yeah. Or at least join the group.
To sum it up, your experience is not guaranteed to make you more money as a traveler. The more skills you have, meaning the more you can do in your profession, modality, whatever that is, the more jobs that are going to be available to you to take. Mm-hmm. And what determines how much money you are going to make is set on the bill rate. That is what the hospital decides they're willing to pay for a traveler to come in. And that bill rate will be paid regardless if you have 2 years of experience or 10. I think that sums it up. That was easy peasy.
These episodes that we have planned are coming, like I said, from our Facebook group. But if you have a direct question that you would like us to answer, reach out to us in our DMs at Kim and Aaron G on Instagram, or if you want to email us at hello@imtravsessed.com. You can find a contact form on our website, or just email us. Our website is imtravsessed.com, and our email is hello@imtravsessed.com. So if any way you want to reach out to us, ask us a question that you may have not wanted to ask in a public forum, we will answer that question on this podcast for you. But until then, we'll be just going through our group and finding threads that have had a lot of questions asked and a lot of responses and things like that, so we know it's a hot topic.
Perfect. This is the place you can come to get correct information.
Yeah.
From mentors and teachers you love
that
and
care
trust.
about you. Which is true.
Which is true.
I mean, Kim's laughing and cackling, but that's actually true.
Well, because the way you said that care about you. It's funny.
Well, we do.
We do. So look forward to Tuesdays will be our healthcare traveler quickfire, and then Thursdays will be our normal programming
Ranting
as
podcast.
usual. So stay tuned for all the things, and we will see you guys over on Instagram at Kim and Aaron G.
We will.
I think that's the easiest place to
Your sign-offs are just
I know, I just
incredible.
say something random.
I know. Anyway,
But I think that's the best
I
place.
could almost make a compilation of your sign-offs.
That's the best place to connect with us,
Totally.
I think.
We're goats.
Okay, cool. Bye.